In today's video, we're going to be going over 5 very important photos that changed the world. In these videos, I hope to explore the importance of photography, not just historically, but how important it is and can be. And hopefully that can inspire you to eventually go out and shoot something with a sense of its importance in mind. I should warn you that the images in this video, as the title suggests, are going to be pretty intense. So there is a little warning for anybody who's particularly sensitive. And if you enjoy learning about photography and all things photography related, go ahead and hit that like button and of course subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Now without further ado, let's get into our first image. Now our first image here is one that you might recognize. This image is titled Napalm Girl. It was shot in the Vietnam War in 1972. The photographer was Nick Ut for the Associated Press. Captured on June 8th during the Vietnam War, Nick Ut's photograph shows a 9-year-old Kim Phuc running naked down a road after being severely burned by napalm dropped by a South Vietnamese plane. The image, taken moments after the bombing near the Trang Bang village, captures Kim Phuc screaming in pain, with her skin peeling from her body. Nick Ut quickly rushed Kim Phuc and other children to the hospital, saving their lives. This heart-wrenching image brought the brutal reality of the Vietnam War to millions worldwide, exposing the horrific impact of the conflict on civilians. It became a turning point in public perception, fueling the anti-war sentiment and contributing to an increase in pressure on US and global leaders to bring the war to an end. The photograph won a Pulitzer Prize and remains one of the most iconic images of the war, symbolizing the innocence lost and the devastating consequences of conflict. I would also like to add this uncropped version of the image that I found, because even as myself, someone who is familiar with this image, I hadn't actually seen this before. So yeah, I'm gonna add that in just because I found it interesting. And I'd also like to add the best news of all. Kim Phuc, the young girl in this image, managed to survive the attack and still lives today. She's spoken out publicly a number of times of her gratitude for this image being taken, as she considers it, rightly so, as a big part of what helped the war come to an end. On to our next image in this series, we have The Falling Man, which was taken during the 9/11 attacks in New York City in 2001. The photographer, Richard Drew, for the Associated Press. On September 11th, 2001, Richard Drew captured one of the most unforgettable images of the World Trade Center attacks, a man falling from the North Tower after the plane struck. This image, later titled The Falling Man, depicts a single individual in a peaceful yet tragic freefall amidst the chaos. The man's identity is still debated, with speculation he might have been a restaurant worker from the windows on the World Restaurant. For many, the photograph was too painful to confront, as it symbolized the unimaginable choices faced by those trapped above the impact zones: jump or perish in the flames. Initially published in the newspapers, the image drew controversy for its stark portrayal of death. Yet it also served as a poignant reminder of the individual human lives lost on 9/11. It forces viewers to confront the personal dimension of a global tragedy, standing as a stark testament to the human cost of terrorism. I did also come across multiple croppings of this image, so I believe I'm going to include a few of those. I'm not sure which one is considered the original crop, but I did find the largest one, which is obviously what I'm presenting to you, and then a number of them were cropped to better fit magazine covers and the likes. Now, our next image here, also shot in the US, takes us back to the Great Depression of 1936, and our photographer is Dorothea Lange. Dorothy Lange's iconic image, taken in March 1936, depicts Florence Owens Thompson, a destitute mother of 7, gazing off in despair while holding her children during the Great Depression. Captured in a pea pickers camp in Napalm, California, this image was part of Lange's work for the US government's Farm Security Administration, the FSA, to document the suffering of the American poor. The photograph became a symbol of the economic hardship faced by millions and helped humanize the plight of migrant workers during one of the toughest periods in US history. Its immediate impact was profound. After the image was public, the federal government sent 20,000 pounds of food to the camp. Beyond its immediate effects, Migrant Mother remains a powerful visual symbol of resilience and capturing the universal struggle for survival and hope amid despair. The photograph has been credited with helping shape the public and governmental responses to poverty, and has become one of the most recognized images of American history. Now, there was a bit of controversy surrounding this image in light of its authenticity. It's something I actually discussed in an older video where I reacted to some of the world's most famous photos, so you can go ahead and check that out. It's actually a series I never actually finished, so if you would like to see part 2 of that, or you want me to continue that series, go watch it and go drop a comment there and I'll continue it. Our next image here is one that I remember seeing when I was quite young, and it's remained in my head ever since. It's probably the most heartbreaking image I have ever seen in my life. That is, of course, Vulture and the little girl, shot during the Sudan famine of 1993. The photographer in this case was Kevin Carter. Taken in March 1993 during the Sudan famine, this haunting photograph shows a frail, starving Sudanese child collapsed on the ground, with a vulture ominously waiting in the background. Kevin Carter, a South African journalist, captured the image near the village of Ayod while on assignment to document the severe famine gripping the country. The photograph instantly became a stark symbol of the extreme suffering in Sudan and the broader humanitarian crisis in Africa. The image sparked outrage, criticism, and heated debates over journalistic ethics, as many have questioned why Carter did not intervene to help the child. Carter explained that he had been advised not to touch the victims due to disease transmission risks, and the child managed to reach a nearby feeding center. Despite the controversy, the photograph won the Pulitzer Prize for feature photography in 1994. However, the emotional toll of witnessing such suffering and the public backlash deeply affected Carter and contributed to his tragic taking of his own life later that year. This photograph remains a chilling reminder of the horrors of famine and the moral dilemmas faced by photojournalists and the desperate need for global humanitarian action. And for our final photo, we find ourselves having to return back to Vietnam. In this photo, titled The Burning Monk, was shot in Vietnam in 1963. Our photographer, Malcolm Browne. On June 11, 1963, Malcolm Browne captured one of the most shocking and powerful images of the 20th century, the self-immolation of Thich Quang Duc, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk on a busy street in Saigon, now Ho Chi Minh City. Thich Quang Duc set himself on fire in protest against the South Vietnamese government's persecution of Buddhists under President Ngo Dinh Diem, who was a Catholic. The monk sat calmly in the lotus position as he burned, without moving or making a sound, demonstrating an extraordinary level of self-control and commitment to his cause. This photograph spread rapidly across the globe, drawing international attention to the religious oppression in Vietnam and fueling outrage against the Diem regime. This image also played a significant role in shifting US and global opinion on the Vietnam War and US's support for South Vietnamese government. The shocking nature of the protest and its visual impact helped ignite a broader conversation about human rights, freedom of religion, and the lengths that individuals will go to make themselves heard. The image remains a symbol of peaceful but powerful protest and the ultimate sacrifice for a cause. And that draws us to a close of our list today. If you made it all the way to the end, congratulations. As I say, these images were quite intense. But these images not only encapsulated pivotal moments in capturing history, but profoundly influenced public perception and policy, shedding light on human suffering and inspiring action. And for this, at the very least, we could all be grateful that these photographs exist. Thank you for watching. Peace.